Little preparation goes a long way. This guide will tell you everything you need to know to have a perfect trip to Europe. Let's start first thing, budget for your Europ trip. Before even buying your plane tickets, make a budget for your vacation to Europe. Make sure it is both reasonable and something you can currently afford. Although I enjoy using credit card points for vacations, it's essential to be prudent. The good news is that visiting Europe can be done on a budget. In fact, we found that traveling throughout Europe for a year actually cost less than staying at home. So how much does it cost to travel to Europe? The answer actually depends on how many people in your trip, your preferred travel style, and your financial flexibility. If you plan carefully, you can travel to Europe on a budget, but I recommend setting aside $1,000 per every week just to be safe. And now a very important point, check Europe travel visa requirements. One guaranteed way to ruin your trip is being denied entry into the country you are visiting because you don't have a tourist visa. Americans traveling to Europe won't need a visa to travel to most countries on the continent. Europe travel visas are a little complicated, so must know well the visa requirements and whether you need to acquire a visa upon arrival at the airport or online prior to arrival. Now, check out these 2 tips to save money. Buy flights early. The best rates are typically available in Europe if you book early. As soon as possible, start looking for inexpensive flights. Check the link in the description to get the best traveling prices to Europe. Travel Europe in the off-season. The greatest approach to avoid crowds and save money on accommodations, transportation, tours, and flight and rail fares is to travel off-season. The majority of the most popular tourist destinations are open all year round, but it's a good idea to double-check closing times because some might operate with fewer hours during the low-traffic season. Now one more important tip, you can do it to save money and time. Book your accommodations as early as possible. The easiest approach to ensure accommodation and tours, particularly during the peak travel period, is to make advance reservations. You may also guarantee that you're receiving the greatest deal by planning ahead and booking your accommodations, train tickets, and tours. Check the link in the description for the best accommodations deals. An important thing before your arrival is to learn how to travel around Europe. Before arriving in any city, learn how to get around using public transportation or a rental car. Each city has its own rules that can be complicated. Using public transportation in a foreign country can be a great way to experience cities like a local, but can also be intimidating. Be sure to know how to use each public transportation system. If you're going to London, you have to watch London Traveling Guide video. Travel Europe by train. Traveling by train in Europe is an efficient and inexpensive way to get around within the countries and between them, and depending on your destination, easier than air travel. Be sure to validate your ticket before you hop on the train to avoid fines. Use budget airlines. Every European traveler knows that using a budget airline may get you affordable flights to almost everywhere on the continent. More than a dozen low-cost carriers operate across the continent. Although airfare is frequently less expensive than train tickets, the cheapest seats frequently sell out first. While you might be getting a good deal on airfare, be sure to look into any additional fees and taxes that are frequently not mentioned in the rate that is being provided. By learning about each airline's policies on hand baggage and luggage size, you can also avoid paying significant baggage costs. A packing light will help you avoid baggage fees and let you ease through the airport. And this is our next tip. Pack light. Especially if you'll be traveling around Europe and taking public transportation. There's nothing more frustrating than trying to haul heavy luggage around on trains. But also here are some packing essentials for Europe. Try to have it on your list for packing travel. Check our video for the list of the best products and prices you must have on your trip. Our next tip is one of my best Europe travel tips. Don't try to see it all. Your first trip to Europe will be so exciting, and you'll want to take in as much as you can. There are so many places in Europe that need to be visited. Try not to attempt to visit everything in one trip unless you intend to spend a year there. You don't want to spend all of your time on a train, plane, or car. The best way to travel Europe is slowly. Take your time. You can always come back. An important thing during your trip, have cash. Don't plan on using credit cards everywhere. While it seems that most of the world now accepts credit cards, some places may not accept cards. This is especially true for many gelaterias in Europe. You want to be sure to have cash for those important things. I recommend using an ATM to withdraw the local currency as it will most likely be lower than the currency exchange rate at the airport. Also, be sure to notify your bank and credit card company before traveling so you don't find your accounts frozen. Leave the majority of your cash in the hotel. While it's important to have cash available during your trip to Europe, you don't want to be carrying around all your cash every day. Leave the majority of your cash in your hotel. Be sure to put it away so it's not visible. Now the most important travel tips for Europe. Learn how to stay safe. In general, Europe is a safe continent. But just like anywhere else in the world, it is best to remain careful and keep an eye out for threats and dangers. Be especially careful in popular tourist destinations where there are huge people in crowded places. I strongly advise against using a backpack. Additionally, if you are wearing a bag, avoid keeping your wallet in the front pocket where pickpockets might get it. Never go alone along a dark street at night, and don't forget always carry your passport. Book attraction tickets in advance. With travel becoming more and more popular and over-tourism becoming a real problem, popular attractions like the Eiffel Tower and London Eye require an advanced booking or you risk not being able to visit them. You can book almost any attraction in Europe here, including skip-the-line tours. Check the description for the best ticket booking site. Get off the beaten path. It's important to see the iconic locations you've always wanted to see, but don't be afraid to discover some lesser-known locales in Europe. Don't be scared to venture off the beaten path and try something novel. Ask the locals. Often you will get a better glimpse when doing so. It's nearly impossible not to have fun while traveling in Europe. Now that you're armed with all these tips, I hope you're ready to book your flights. Love as always. Happy adventuring. Do you have any other tips for visiting Europe? I'd love to hear them. Did you find this video helpful? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and enable notifications so that we can keep bringing you more awesome